Hello and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. This is your host, Frances Vidakovic, and on this podcast, I'll be sharing with you the most valuable strategies to live your one wildly beautiful and most precious life. Because this is it, my friend. In case you haven't guessed, when it comes to life, there's no rewind or pause button that exists. They say that the way that you spend your days is the way that you spend your life. So my one and only goal here is to help you stop wasting your time, stop holding yourself back in life, stop experiencing non-stop negative mind chatter, stop just dreaming without doing, and start living life fearlessly instead, with more purpose, focus, and intention. I sincerely want you to live life in a way that when you come to the end of it, you know deep down in your heart that you 100% gave it your all, flaws and all. This podcast is not about doing life perfectly. Instead, it is about experiencing and living life with more clarity and courage and truly appreciating this precious adventure that we are so blessed to be on. So if you're with me here today, it's time to stop spinning in circles, get off the hamster wheel for good, put your hands back on the steering wheel of your life, and finally start living life in a way that you won't later regret. With that being said, let's dive on in. Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I'm your host, Frances Vidakovic, and this bonus episode, in addition to the 7 that follow, will be a special behind-the-scenes look at some important foundational lessons that I created for an old coaching program of mine. So I recently found these sitting in my business vault, and I thought, oh my gosh, I absolutely should share these. Even though they're a little old, I'm pretty sure they're around 2 years old, I'm still 100% aligned with everything that I teach in these older videos. So these bonus episodes, I want you to consider them to be a belated Christmas gift from me to you. These lessons, which were previously only available to private students of mine, are what I consider to be essential knowledge that you 100% need to embrace if you want to achieve amazing results in your life. So embracing these lessons are definitely going to help you feel calmer, more focused, and more intentional in your life. Now, I should note, I've definitely grown a lot as a teacher and a speaker since I first recorded these videos, thank gosh. But trust me, these episodes are still worth a listen, as the content still to this day forms a core foundation upon which everything that I teach inside the Inspiring Life School, all my courses, all my programs, you need to know this stuff. You absolutely do. So these episodes will all be short and sweet, but my gosh, they really do have the power to totally transform your life, especially if you don't just listen, but you go ahead and implement the teachings in your own life. So with that being said, sit back and please enjoy my little surprise gift for you. Hello guys. Just when you thought it was over, I'm here with another foundational lesson. So if you watched the previous 7, you probably got this impression that there were just 7 key rules or 7 key foundational things that I wanted you to take on board in order to get the most success out of this program and in life. But as suspected, I was like, I can't not mention this. So if you see any more videos in this section, it's because I've identified something that I think is really important to have a conversation about. And some of those things are so obvious that I think everyone must know this. But just in case you might need a reminder, if it's never crossed your mind before, I want to include it here because this lesson in particular is something that I think is really key to any success in life, especially when it comes to your personal growth. So let's have a conversation today about how your mind is like a garden and that you need to make sure that you are watering it and that you are taking care of it and that you are not neglecting it and leaving it to just, I don't know, what happens to a neglected garden? Like weeds come up. So for me, one of my keys to staying productive and definitely living intentionally is always to make sure that I'm consuming material in the form of books and videos and especially podcasts and things like that inspire and motivate me. So I want to ask you, how often do you actually take on board material or any material in whatever form suits you best that actually makes you feel excited to be alive and like sparks new ideas, as opposed to just living a normal day where you're not learning? Because knowledge is definitely power, even though obviously all the knowledge isn't power unless you take action. But you need to have that knowledge first. And I can't tell you how many times I've come across materials and I've had new ideas come to me that wouldn't have come my way unless I had consumed that material. So that actually brings me to the question is like looking at what are you consuming on a regular basis? Hopefully it is just not mindless scrolling through your social media feeds. Ideally, I would like to encourage you to read books, especially books that inspire you and get you excited. Like if there are books in your niche or books that you are interested in or something that you are focused on in your goal, go and seek out the best sellers, like the books that have the most reviews, that people have raved about and that they're excited about. If there are ideas that are new to you and you take them on board, it might just be exactly what you need to learn something new, to take action in a direction that you wouldn't have discovered if you hadn't read that particular book or listened to that particular podcast or watched that particular video. So for me, I can't even count how many books I've read in my life. I love books. I make time every day to read. I read just before I go to bed and I read as soon as I wake up. I sometimes read fiction, but most of the time I at least try to read something new in the non-fiction. I borrow a lot of ebooks, so it's not like I have that reading has to be a massive expense. Just know that you have that option. Personal growth involves you having to grow. How do you grow? It's by embracing new ideas. And you can do this via books. There are so many fantastic podcasts and videos. I also love the concept of having a virtual mentor. So you're so lucky because you have me and this fantastic group to help hold you accountable to your goals. But if you feel like you need that additional support, I love Oprah. I haven't personally met Oprah yet. But even still, I love reading her books. I love listening to her speak. I find her so inspiring and I always learn something new. So if you have time, and we all have time each day, just to unwind and relax, just be conscious about the way that you're doing it. You can use that time to feed your mind as opposed to neglecting your mind, because personal growth is about growing. So what can you do to grow? Now, obviously, I'm hoping that this is an enjoyable task. I don't want to suggest something to you and you're like, oh, I hate doing that. So if you're not a reader, look at what other way. Do you like to listen to podcasts? I love listening it to when I'm driving. When I do my groceries, I listen to my podcast. So it's I'm not taking up additional time away from my family, or when I'm working, I'm just using time that I've, it's just there to be used, and I'm using it in a productive, intentional way. So that's what I wanted this foundational lesson to be about, looking at what you consume, encouraging you to read books that get you excited. But if you have any suggestions, please share them with me. But go to your local library. There is so much information out there. Don't force yourself to read something that you don't want to read, but be excited about the things that, get your mind thinking in new and different ways. Because when you think differently, we all know you feel differently, and the actions follow through from those thoughts and feelings. So that is what I wanted to share with you. Your mind is a garden. Make sure that you are planting beautiful seeds that are going to sprout later on, that you are taking care of it, that you're giving it attention, giving it sunlight, watering it like it deserves to, rather than neglecting it. So I know it's another quick, short and sweet one. If I come across any more foundational lessons that I think are really important for you to take on board, or at least consider. You don't have to ever do anything that you don't want to do, but I always share things from my heart, and because I sincerely want the best from you, I want you to succeed. And so if there are things that I can share with you to bring out the best in you, that is what I'm going to be doing here. So take care. I am cheering from you from afar, and hopefully we will catch up soon. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I really appreciate you allowing me to be a part of your life. If you'd love to stay in touch, please know that you can always find me on Instagram at Frances Vidakovic, or you can visit my website, inspiringmumlife.com, where you can sign up and receive so many amazing freebies that I've created just for you to help you implement all my teachings into practice. There you'll also find all my online courses, resources and programs that I've created to help you up-level your life in seriously the simplest way possible, so that you can ultimately create for yourself a life that feels simpler, lighter, and allows you to show up in a way that you love as your best and most authentic version of yourself. Now remember, this podcast is all about not just dreaming but also doing, because to create true sustainable change in your life, you need to be willing to do things differently. And that's what I'm here to support you to do every single step along the way, so that you too can begin to live your one wild and precious life with less stress, less overwhelm, less drama, and instead with zero regrets. Finally, if this podcast resonates with you at all and you appreciate the content, I would absolutely love for you to show your support by leaving me a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm on a mission to help more people wake up to the preciousness of life and to help them live their days with more intention and purpose, and your review will help make this goal of mine possible. Well, once again, thank you so much. I have loved spending this time with you, and I look forward to connecting with you again. I am Frances Vidakovic, and you have been listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast.